We hear many times how the nations of the world go by the sun and we go by the moon. We have our holidays, it's the lunar cycle, and we have nothing really to do with the solar cycle. But let's look here in the Ketoret that we read every day. It says there's Petuma Ketot Ketzad. How do they do the Ketoret? Shelosh Mot Vishishim Ushmona Manim Hayuba. 368 portions. Shelosh Mot Vishishim Chamisha Kemenyan Yemot HaChama. 365 portions. Kemenyan Yemot HaChama, according to the days of the sun. And the 3 extras for Yom Kippurim, and it's a half in the morning, half in the afternoon, like we do the Ketoret. They make a whole big pile once a year for 365 days, and 3 extra for Yom Kippur. So already you have something that's Keneged Yemot HaChama, the solar cycle, 365, that's corresponding to 365. Now that's not all. We also have here in the Rambam of Mishneh Torah, he says in his introduction, in the Hakdama, Mem Gimel, at least in this book, I don't know if that's for every book, it says, right before the Minyan Mitzvot, Minyan Mitzvot Shel Torah Hanoagot Lidorot, the count of the mitzvot are, 613 mitzvot, 613. Mehen mitzvot aseh, 248, 248 positive commandments. Siman lahem minyan evarav shel adam. The organs of the body is a sign of that, because there's 248 parts, like we know. Umehen mitzvot lo taseh, and the negative commandments, 365, 365, siman lahen minyan yemot hachama. Now we're used, which is according to the days of the sun. We're used to thinking there's 248 organs and 365 sinews. That's true, which is the whole body. We're a walking Sefer Torah, like we say. But it's also, the 365 correspond to the days of the solar calendar. So what's this solar calendar have to do with anything? We're noticing that our religion is a solar lunar religion. We don't only go by the moon. We go by the moon and the sun. In fact, when we always hear that the nations of the world go by the sun and we go by the moon, what's meant by that is that they go by the sun only, but we also go by the moon. That's really how the phrase is meant to be said. Not that we ignore the sun because of the moon. It's just that we do both. We're a solar lunar religion. Now, just a couple of other things quickly. We also say, we have Birchat HaChama, the blessing that we bless Hashem over the sun that he gave every 28 years. And Birkat HaLebana, like we do once a month, the blessing that Hashem gave us, the moon and the cycle. We don't bless the sun or bless the moon, we bless Hashem. We thank Hashem for the sun and the moon. And our biggest beracha, Rabbi Avigdor Miller, he used to tell us, I went to his classes many years ago, Tuesday nights, I don't remember now, or Thursday nights on Ocean Parkway. But his tapes, the rabbi's tapes, are still around. He used to tell us about Yoser Or, the biggest beracha in the morning, maybe of any, is how Hashem makes the sunlight. And he's just like the rabbi would always say, to see how Hashem, his wonders in the body and the fruit that he makes and all the things he would say, don't forget the sunlight that Hashem makes. Look what it does for the world, makes everything grow and everything move. And that's, we're saying, Yotzer Or and Yotzer HaMe'orot. Blessed you Hashem, who makes the light and the luminaries. We don't just say one luminary, the moon. We talk about both. Yotzer HaMe'orot. Why such a big beracha for the sun in the morning? So there's something to that. We are a solar lunar religion. We have to remember that. Now, when we think of this now, the Rambam just said, the Maimonides, that the 613 mitzvot, 248 of the organs, 365 according to the days of the year, solar. Which means, look at it like this. Let's say a person is born. Now look at the 365 as a long string of 365 days and that's a cycle, okay? So imagine a person is born on day 157, whatever month and day that would be. I'm just trying to show you. I don't want to talk the calendar yet. January, February, leave that alone if we're uncomfortable with the solar calendar. Just look at it as a strand of 365 for now. So a person's born on, let's say, 168, whatever number I said before, 168. So now, wouldn't it be fun to look at the negative commandments and look at what number 168 is? That links right to you because you were born on that day. And that day corresponds to a negative commandment like we just learned. Maybe that's your mission in life. Maybe that's your test in life. Wouldn't it be great to look it up? So it means there's value to what we're going to call the solar birthday. Don't call it the English birthday. That's what gets us in trouble. Certainly don't call it the English calendar. Don't call it that. Certainly don't call it the Christian calendar. That's even more troublesome. That's why we think we stay away from the solar calendar, because we're so used to it being mixed up with the other religions. So just keep it untainted. Keep it pure. Call it the solar calendar. That's what it is. And there's much significance for it. It has to do with the neshamot, has to do with the ketoret, it has to do with the mitzvot. So our solar birthday does have value. We're not used to thinking that. Our Hebrew birthday and solar birthday, if you want to say then lunar or solar, has value. And it does tell us about a person. Now we know, all this astrology talk about birthdays, we don't really have this skill, but that's because we don't know it. The skill is ours. In the time of the Beit HaMikdash, and of course before, all the greats and our forefathers knew that. It's all Hashem's creation. Whatever he made, he put into the astrology. So when the Beit HaMikdash, the temple, was destroyed and the Goyim, the nations of the world, started taking all different things that we had, using the solar calendar and doing all kinds of reading the future or reading the signs of the stars and fortune telling, was really their way of taking our stuff and just doing what they wanted with it. Of course, we don't recommend, and it's even forbidden to go to these people. But I'm just showing you how it really originates from our religion. To have a solar calendar and it be valued as legitimate is a Jewish concept. So we're no longer afraid of our, quote, English birthday, but we're going to call solar birthday now. We have much to learn from that. So now you have a strand of 365, but who says 168? Where am I going to count from? What's day one? We know in the way the world works, it's January 1st. Is that reliable? Can we say that Hashem has it that way and it's a valid system? So let's see. There's a Midrash Tanchuma. If you go to Ha'azinu in Siman Aleph, let's read a Midrash. Look what it says. It says,